Welcome to Dose with Grace. Hope you're doing well and taking very good care of yourself. It gives me great pleasure to share another video with you all. Honestly speaking, these videos are a great gift to me because they help me reflect and crystallize my thoughts that are definitely a big grace of God, as most of these thoughts become more crystallized during my morning chanting meditation. And I'm so happy that I'm able to bring these to you because through this channel, I'm sure it also reaches my children who always watch it and give me their wonderful feedback. And also, hopefully, it will remain there for my grandchildren as a legacy. Well, with that wonderful thought, let's begin this video with these two wonderful blessings of Mahamantras. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Thank you for joining back. As you can feel, there is a lot of childlike energy in the day today. And that's what I wanted to bring to you. That's why I said today's video is really special to my heart. Because here I'm going to talk about a very heartfelt topic. I don't know how to give it a caption, which we will decide as we progress. Hopefully we can put it under a topic Bhakti or Divinity or connection with divine. What, why, and how. So let's talk about connection with divine. By connection with divine, what I mean is the explicit connection with divine. As we all know that we are a part of divinity. There is nothing that can separate us with it. However, many layers of identity that we form through our lives are the reason why we feel separated from it. That is why in today's age we are talking about peoples like who believe in God and those who do not believe in God. Whether we believe in God or we do not believe in God, that doesn't change the existence of God. It's almost like a very cliche thing I would say, where if you cannot see air, doesn't mean it doesn't exist. It does. But here I'm not talking about the existence and proving that. Today I'm talking more about our explicit understanding, connection, and awareness that we are connected to divinity and expressing that also explicitly to ourselves and to people around us, to society around us. So the what part of it, what is divinity, is something as we are born, we are told what is food, what is hunger, what is pain, what is discomfort. When a child is crying, we are very conscious of alleviating that pain in child, either by, it could be because of hunger, it could be because of discomfort that the diaper is wet, it could be because the child is positioned in certain way that there is a bloating in the stomach, and we try to alleviate that discomfort. At that stage, that is the right age. At what age the divinity has to be explicitly inculcated in a child, it is that age. Most of our households have a small altar at home. Whatever faith we believe in, whatever religion we are from, there is always a symbolic altar of the same at our homes. And mostly we see that we are, if not much, that every morning we bow our head in front of our altar. Just even the simple ritual like this is a great teacher to our children when they are watching us do that, that there is a higher power that we need to bow down in front of. And as we bow down, the beautiful energy from those idols in our altar, because that altar has been prayed to every single day, the energy of that altar is very, very high. That space which we call as altar in our home is a highest energy center of the home, no matter where it is put, because that's where we go for through with our devotion. That's where we go to energize ourselves. That's where we pour in our love and compassion. That's where we pour in our devotion. So that has a very high frequency. So then that's where when we bow, the same energy comes back into us. That is why it just feels very energetic. It just feels very powerful after bowing in front of our gods in our home altar. And same is the feeling when we enter the energy fields like temples, mosques, churches, or any other places of devotion and prayer like Peer Baba places. Even if the temple will be small, we just feel so good after visiting the same. So one of the stereotypes that is attached to divinity is that divinity is for the older people, those who have finished the obligations of their life. And by obligation, I mean their education, their early childhood education, their higher education, their professional commitments, then getting married, getting settled in life, and then the whole cycle starts again. Having a child, rearing and bearing a child, early education of the child, higher education of the child, profession of the child, getting the child married, and then once all your duties and responsibilities have been taken care of, that is when you should full-fledged turn to divinity. Yes, full-fledged at that time, because all the other phases of your life requires a lot of karma. It requires a lot of purushartha. It requires a lot of action, activity. But God has also given us 24 hours in a day. And 24 hours are enough to include God at every single stage of life, beginning from the childbirth. So the biggest stereotype that it is not for children, devotion, bhakti, divinity, prayers, bhajan, kirtan is not for children, is a greatest and a very unfortunate myth. Please, please do inculcate the love, knowledge, significance and importance of divinity in your children as soon as they are born. So what is the right age? The right age is the age when they begin their life. Fortunately for me, the circumstances have been such, though it was not very conscious, but the circumstances that I spent most of my childhood with my grandmother and exclusively my holidays with my paternal grandmother. It was her fag end of life. So according to the rules of society, she was fully devoted into her ritual practices of praying to God after taking bath in the morning, sitting in front of the altar, lighting a lamp, and singing bhajans. But for me, that was a very early age. I was hardly even in my primary, and that's when my journey of the similar rituals began. First, by just observing her, and then finding a fondness towards it so naturally that I was naturally very attracted to holy places, temples, and even today, uh, if I am invited into someone's puja, I am more interested in meeting the god of her house than the person themselves. That is why there is no ego, there is no inhibition to go and visit and offer my prayers at temples and mention that to people even from the very young age. Because that is the right way to inculcate that higher taste, that beautiful taste, and the original taste from where we have come. It is so natural to us to be in love of God. But yes, as we take birth, we are surrounded by society. There are so many responsibilities and so many identities put on us. You're so and so's child, you're so and so's daughter, you're so and so's sister, you're so and so's granddaughter, you are so and so's wife, you're so and so's mother. But overall, we are all children of God. So, how can we not be attached to God? Only the things that will prevent us from that are to be removed, and hence naturally will flow towards that. And it is not holding us back. It never deviates us from the path of ambition. It never takes us away from the hard work, from being motivated and being success driven in life. But it puts everything in the right perspective. It puts everything in the right balance. And I'm very grateful to circumstantial grace that God has bestowed me with, that throughout my life, I always had a higher guidance, lighting up my knowledge, lighting up my intellect to make the decisions, to appreciate the life the way it has come, and to make choices that have given me more liberation than imprisonment. So that is the right age. Please, as parents, it is not just our duty, but it is also our privilege as a gift back to life to inculcate in our children from a very young age. Maybe you can put bhajans at home in the morning. Maybe you can put mantras at home in morning if you're a Hindu, or you can put your own devotional music in the morning, because music is something that goes early into our hearing, is the sense that is most early developed. The longest developed sense in humans is hearing. It is the last that goes and it is the first that comes. So even for a newborn child, devotional music of your own faith and of your own religion is so illuminating for the life path that they're going to lead. Second, why? Why? Because, see, as the children grow up, as I grew up, there will be times that are great for us. There will be times that are so favorable to us. There will be times that are neutral. And there will be times that can be tough. If not directly for you, maybe for the people around you, who you love, care, and really, really want to protect. So if something happens to them also, it can affect you. So it can happen at different stages for everyone in life, but tough times do come. So imagine if we do not have that taste of having complete faith that there is a higher power that exists, having that trust that there is a higher power that exists, then what? Then when we have given our best, we do our best, but not all the times. The times are going to be in our favor. So when things are not in our favor, if we have given our best, things are still not going in our favor, it breaks us down. Because that's all we know. We only know how to do our best, to give our best. If we have not developed the taste, developed this devotion, the faith, the patience in the higher power. But if we have, then despite the fact that we give our best, we give our most efforts and things don't turn in our favor, at that time we feel that I have given my best, now I'm waiting for your way to show me the right path. Because sometimes the God's way to teach us right path is to remove us from the path that we are so insistent upon. So in one person's case, when there is no faith developed, when there is no higher power's significance and importance developed in life, they can easily lose hope. Whereas in the other person's case, with the same amount of effort and rigor and enthusiasm and hunger for success, but things don't turn up in their favor, just because there is that additional knowledge, understanding, trust, and faith in the higher power, they do not feel bewildered. They understand that there is someone higher than me who is allowing this to happen. So this must be for either some lesson that I need to learn or to move me to a direction that I'm so resisting. So there is that sense of inner faith, that sense of assurance that I'm always taken care of. That is why we bring divinity into our lives early, into our children's life, so that tomorrow, if today's world is so stressful and competitive, imagine how it will be tomorrow. And we want our next generation to be a very balanced, secure, and safe in their hearts. Even when we are not around them, even when we are not there to safeguard them. So they have to become sovereign, and that can come only when they have the true knowledge of who they are. They are just a part of this entire divinity, and that can come only when we inculcate this early in life. Because just like everything else, being devoted to God explicitly and bringing into your consciousness on making it a daily practice, when every moment something happens, to be aware of the fact that you always have your higher purpose taken care of, your higher interest is always being watched, and to always be guided to make the right decisions and take the right actions, not just selfish actions, is where this helps. So we discussed the what and we discussed the why. Now let's discuss how. Back in 2016, when I started Bhagavad Gita classes in Singapore, in Sri Lakshmi Narayan Temple, I feel that was a great window to learning to me, because though I had read Bhagavad Gita on my own, but to be able to take classes where there was a cohort session and to have discussions of that with the people of same interest group, and the way those presentations were prepared by our teacher, I am so eternally grateful to those classes. But you know what? When I went for those classes, and after that, if I'm socially meeting people, I would always hear from them saying that, I do this, but my family doesn't understand it. I have so much knowledge in this, but my family is just stuck in their own thought process. And then I would take that feedback and reflect upon it, and I wonder that how is it that one person in the family thinks that they are developing and the rest of the family isn't? It is because if that person is going and learning something, they are not bringing that knowledge back to their family. And why is it happening? It possibly is because they are not sharing. So what I started doing, after every lesson that I attended, I would come home and I would re-narrate the lesson. It was almost like a revision. I'm just coming home and I'm sharing everything I've learned. And initially, I thought this is a wonderful way, but then I realized that not everyone was interested in listening to Bhagavad Gita from me in my own house. My children were very young. My younger one was actually too young to even understand the concept of the complexity of what Arjuna was facing, the dilemma that Arjuna was facing. So here there are two stereotypes straight away. They are so small. Probably they don't even understand these higher concepts. They understand everything. Children are far more intelligent, far more pure to understand these concepts than adults. Trust me. It is my own personal experience, and not just with my own children, with all the children. Children are very evolved, especially when they have not been conditioned. Second stereotype, that it is so easy. Why don't these people who are talking that I'm better than my family and they don't get me, share with their family? Maybe they don't share with their family. No, that was a stereotype. Maybe they do, just like me, but nobody is interested to listen, because had it had been their taste, they would have accompanied me. So, what do? Either you let your ego come in the way and you stop sharing, just like my ego can come in the way and I can say, okay, nobody responds to me on YouTube, so why should I share anymore? No. But if the purpose is to just make sure that everyone around you is also evolving with you, you do not care whether they are explicitly showing you a response or not. It's going where it is meant to go, and it will have its own vibrational effects. Initially, it just felt like one-sided affair where I'm just narrating at their convenient time, and possibly nobody was paying active attention to it, but it was going into their ears, just like a wonderful devotional music is going into the ears of a newborn child, and their sanskars are being formed. And that is exactly what happened in our family. Bit by bit, with every single time that I went out, I learned, I came back and I shared. The beauty of it was, even though they wouldn't very express it that they are loving and enjoying my sharing, they never told me not to share it. So that was a very good beginning, and I'm so grateful to them for that. And that encouraged me to go on with just sharing and not expecting any response or feedback in return. But today, if you really see, after having attended almost 3 cohorts and read Bhagavad Gita over many times. Is there a difference in my knowledge and their knowledge? Probably not much. Because we discuss, we share, we learn from each other, and through that, probably even my understanding would have been half of what it would have been if I wouldn't have shared. So the how part is that making it important for them as parents, as their caretakers. It is so important for us as parents to make divinity, the higher learnings, the connection with God or higher self or your own higher spiritual self important by doing certain basic rituals in your home. So if you have an altar, if every day morning our children observe us bowing in front of the God, taking that energy from God to start our day, they will understand the significance of it. If they see both Mama and Papa love visiting temple on the day of Deepavali, if Mama and Papa love to visit temple, they dress up, they try to specially plan their outfits. And when we are visiting temple, we have lovely discussions around what is this festival about and what this festival is trying to teach us. Because deeply embedded in the cultural festivals, which is about celebration of life, are the true lessons of divinity that we unfold on every festival that we celebrate. So when children see that happening, then we don't need to teach them anymore. Our own way of life is the greatest example for children to emulate. And that gives them a great sense of a safe understanding of what is the significance, what is the importance, and of course the knowledge of divinity. Today this sharing is very, very special to me because I am learning in this process too. I have made many mistakes, maybe so many that I'm still correcting, and probably I'm learning even today from wonderful people around me, the way they are doing a lot of parenting right. So this is my share of 2 cents on how I have understood the significance, the importance of certain things in my life, and I just cannot hold myself to share it with you all. So I hope you all benefit from it, and do share your feedback in your comments about what you think. In what ways are you doing the what, the why, and the how of bringing godliness into your hearts and your homes. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.